Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Ashley's Treasure, and today I'm going to make a fun little card for my son's teacher for the last day of school. This one's going to be bigger than what I normally make. This one is actually going to be 5 by 6.5. Normally I make it smaller, like 5.5 by 4.25, but this one I'm going to make it look like notebook paper. So I'm going to draw a line on the left side and about an inch thick, and then I'm using my cutting board, all the lines on there, to help line them up to make sure it's all straight. That helps a lot, so I don't have to do all these little measurements, and then lining up the ruler. It was a lot quicker and easier this way. I made an inch on the top and then did every half an inch all the way down to make it look like notebook paper. And now I'm going to take my superfine marker tips or tip markers. I got these a couple years ago at Burlington's. Actually, I'm going to use this light blue to make the lines, to make it, I was the closest one I could find to normal notebook paper, how it has the blue lines. See, there's the price. I got it for $2.99 while back at Burlington's. And so yeah, I'm going to go back over those lines with the fine tip marker. And then I thought it would be best to have the card open, so just in case, because sometimes, when you use markers, it can go through the paper, and this wasn't the thickest paper. It was cardstock, but it's probably around 60-pound cardstock, so it's not the thickest. So I was afraid it might go through, and I didn't want that to happen. So that's why I have it open and going over the lines one at a time and making sure it doesn't go through. So again, there was 1 inch and then every half an inch. And now it looks like little notebook paper. And now I'm going to use my little acrylic block. I thought maybe use the bigger one, but I thought it'd be easier just doing it with this little one, because I'm going to use all of these alphabet stamps that I have. I thought this was perfect. These are from Recollection, so it's from Michael's. I got a long time ago. I've had for quite a few years. It didn't say the year on there, but I liked the font on here, and it had uppercase, lowercase, and then it had all these other things on here, and numbers, and this line, and it had everything I needed all in one. I love it. So I'm going to do one letter at a time, and I'm actually using Hampton Art stamps. I had this, or ink, forever ago, and because I wanted some different colors for on the front, and like the only colorful inks that I have are Tim Holtz, but those aren't always the best for stamping with. I do have some VersaFine, but not enough colors, so I have these cheap ones that I got literally like over a decade ago, and they still work. They're still really juicy. They're not the greatest ink in the world, but it gave the look that I was going for. But on the front, I did "You Are" in black, and now I'm doing two as one color, and then I'm going to spell "great" with this light blue. And I wish the G I did a little bit further up. I didn't realize that I made it that far down at the time. But again, this is making it, know that it's like homemade, handmade, something cute. And it's got that little school look. My son is in kindergarten, or not kindergarten, but elementary. So it kind of has that whole fun, school look to it. And where he's really into math. So I actually got inspired from Pintrest. I found two different cards I really liked, and I wanted to combine them in my own way. And so that's what I'm going for on this. One thing I wish I did, though, was that the "You Are," I wish I did that one more row down, and then gap, and then the "two great," as it goes, because I'm going to have the teacher's name on the very top, and so all the other ones are more spaced out, and it looked kind of weird not having a gap in between them. So that's one thing I wish I did, but I didn't realize till after. But I'm even the stamp set that I have even has a line, although it wasn't long enough, but luckily I was able to make it a little bit longer. but it's going to say her name, and then it's going to say, "You are too great plus two, or too great to be forgotten." So, 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's why my son's really into math. And so I thought this was really cute. And it was perfect to match, know that it's from him. And I wanted to make these ones different color to make it more fun. And this time I did the O first to make sure that I did the G high enough up this time. And then T, and then another T, and then E, and then N. But yeah, I want to make them different colors to make it more fun instead of just all black writing. And then here I'm going to at least write Mrs. on the top, but I'm going to leave her name. I'll do her name after I'm done with the video to keep it personal. But I even had the little, in the stamp set, it even has the little period too. So I literally have everything I need in that set. I love this set. I got it, gosh, it had to be a decade ago. But now it's time to do the inside of the card. And at first I was going to do an inch gap on the bottom. Because then I want to make sure when I stamp, it's not going to be on the very bottom. So I did a little bit, was it like a line from the 1/4 of an inch up, and then I'm going to be using the capital letters, so I want to make sure there's enough room. At first I thought it needed an inch, but actually only needed like 3/4 of an inch. So I did 3/4 of an inch and then another 1/4 of an inch on top of it, and then I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch on the top, and then 1/4 of an inch, which I wish I did that one a little bit lower. You'll see in a little bit once I start stamping. And I did another line just in case if I needed more. This time I'm going to do all of these letters in black. Oh yeah, I wish I made the other one a little bit lower because some of the letters started over layering. And it made it harder too. Unlike the front of the card, I had those blue lines, so it was a lot easier to see. Unlike this, I just did the pencil very lightly. So sometimes I was kind of a little off because my acrylic block has lines on it, so it kind of threw me off which lines I was going off from. But see, the letter L hit the D, and so I wish I had that line lower. And see, now that L hit that G, so that kind of bugged me. But it just shows that it's homemade, it's cute, still cutesy and everything. And that's the other thing. This is way off my style from what I normally go for. Normally I always like things grungy and everything, but this is supposed to be a card for a teacher, an elementary teacher. So I was going for the school, look. I think I nailed it. I think it turned out really cool and really cute. But it's gonna say, according to my calculations, you are the number one teacher. I was gonna write best, but I knew I wasn't gonna have enough room for best and teacher, so that's why I used #1 number one, and I wanted to spell teacher all in capital. And then I still had that little bit of room on the bottom. So, I also still had room on the right side. So I did an exclamation point. And then I had that room underneath it. So I wanted to use that little heart. And I got the red ink out to add a little bit more color in here than just black writing. And I tried to center it by eyeballing it and stamp on the bottom. And now I'm going to make a little, since there's this calculation, doing math problems in the front, I'm going to make a little calculator. I'm going to use this blue, gray, red paper, and I'm going to use my Fussy Scissors and a pencil because I'm going to make this myself. Recently, my son came home with a calculator from the school, and they were getting rid of them, so I gave him one. And they're those little, blue calculators with the red buttons do you remember using those when you were in elementary school? I do. And so I was kind of going off on that. And granted, this is not the same blue. This is actually more of a teal color, but I think it worked. It was the closest thing I could find. But I did not measure this. I just kind of eyeballed it to fit the size of my card, how much I wanted it to be. And I think it turned out really good. And instead of getting my huge trimmer out, I just used my little Fisker trimmer, paper trimmer, to get the little shapes out because I wasn't really measuring. And I think that's going to work perfect. And now I'm just kind of drawing to see, you know, the screen part where the numbers show up. I'm trying to estimate how big that will be. So again, and I'm going to make that part gray. I end up making it 3/4 of an inch. That looked about the size I was going for, but I didn't know how long. So I just cut a portion of it and then cut it off, and now I'm going to see how long I need it. Again, not measuring, I'm just marking it with a pencil, and then going to line that up where I marked the pencil and trim that off. And then I was thinking maybe I should round the corner, so I got my Fisker's corner punch, and I'm using the smallest one and carefully trying to line it up just right and do all 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I thought, while I'm at it, I might as well do that to the calculator as well, because they actually do have round corners. And I think that fit perfectly. And so now it is time to try making some buttons. I am not going to do every single button off a calculator. The inspiration I got this off from on Pinterest. I'm going to see if I can add it to the description box below, if it'll let me do that. But the one that they did, they just drew it out with a Sharpie and then colored in with markers. I didn't really want to do mine that way. I wanted to actually like make it out of paper. And so the buttons here I wanted to make red, and I'm just going to do the like enter button, the equal button, and then I'm just going to do 4 more buttons. I just went off from that strip that I just made with for the equal sign, and I just kind of cut it in half to see, because I needed 4 buttons, and then I was going to go off from that, and I thought, whatever this measurement is right there, I just started doing it. I liked the size of it, and I had enough from that little strip that I cut off to make 4 of them the exact same, because I wanted these 4 numbers the same. So what is that? It's over half, so 4 5/8 of an inch, I think. That's probably like the only measurement I did in this. And I just made sure that all 4 of them were the same to match up. And I'm going to call that good, because this is going to be a very cutesy little looking calculator. Since the calculator and the little screen part was round, the corners were rounded, I wanted to try doing that with the equal button as well that I'm making. That was a little hard because it was so small. There's no way I could do the other 4 buttons because they're so tiny. There's no way I could fit them in there. I could have line them up with the other ones I already had and just fussy cut it that way, use that as my stencil, my template. But I actually kind of liked them, those ones, with the straight corners, and the other ones with the curved corners. And now I'm going to get, I actually have add, subtract, and divide and equal it stamps in this set, which is perfect. But I couldn't find times. And then I started realizing, well, silly Ashley, of course you do have it. You just use the plus sign and you just move it sideways and it's a time. But I accidentally, when I was taking the plus off, it fell on the floor on the carpet, and it is so hard finding clear stamps on the carpet. I thought there's no way I'm going to find this, and luckily I did, thankfully. But I did the subtract, the add, divide, the equal sign, and now I finally found the little add, and so I'm going to make it into my multiplication or my times button. And now I doodled a little face on there, a cute little face, got its little eyeballs, and now I'm going to do a smiley face, and I did not do it symmetrical at all with the Sharpie. I am terrible at making things symmetrical. And then I'm just going to use my little art glue behind there, because it's a pretty good cardstock, so I knew this would work good. And now I'm going to start gluing the buttons on there. I'm going to line these 4 up first to have them kind of exactly where I am. I want it to look lined up like a calculator would. I didn't want them all wonky and out of place, so I'm trying to line them up as good as I can, like so. Want them a little bit closer. There we go. I think that looks good. And now I'm going to start gluing them together with my art glitter glue. Here we go. And now look how cute he is. Okay. So now I have just a scrap piece of cardstock that I had laying around. I have no idea how thick it is. Probably an inch, close to an inch. I just cut it in half. It wasn't exactly in half. And I just kept folding it back and forth, back and forth. And I'm going to glue the two ends together because I want to add some bounce behind the calculator. I want it to pop out. Granted, I think another way would have been good too is if I did 4 little ones for all 4 corners instead of one big one in the middle. I thought this was too big, like it was coming out too far, so I did trim 2 squares off to make it a little bit smaller so it won't bounce out too much, but I still wanted to kind of have some bounce to it so it seems like, you know, you're pushing the buttons. I thought that'd look really cute and be more fun. So I'm just trying to line it up to see how this would look, and it was a little bit, not a little, it wasn't bouncy enough, so I kind of like stretched it out a little bit more, and that gave a lot more bounce. And the other nice thing about this is that it lays flat, you know, when you put it in your envelope, when you close the card, so that's kind of nice too. Unlike, you know, if you add foam or something, that's going to be how much it pops out, you know. But this, you know, it closes and then it pops up when you open the card. So I thought that makes it a lot more fun and gives more character to it. And so I'm just kind of lining them up, placing them just where I want. And he's got some little bounce to it. It's so cute. All right, now he needs some legs and some feet. So I'm just, you know, doodling with my pencil, sketching really quick, making it very simple look to it. And then I'm going to try giving it little arms. The first one turned out, I thought, pretty good. And then I'm trying to make it symmetrical on the other side. And I am terrible at making things symmetrical. That was a complete failure. That's why I try to draw it with a pencil first. I never trust myself with pens and markers. That's why I always sketch things out first. And then I'm just giving them little stick fingers, just like a snowman. Just 3 little fingers. And then now I'm going to go over with a fine tip Sharpie. Now that I feel a little bit more confident about it, even though I completely screwed up on the little guy's smile, but it's not too bad. It will still look cutesy and simple. All right, now he's got little arms and now he's got little legs and feet. I was just going to keep it that way, you know, outlining it, but this foot I kind of screwed up on. See, now it's all wonky. And so I tried to fix it. So I'm like, well, now I'm going to color them in. I kind of liked them just outlined, but either way, it's fine. But now I got a little calculator. So we'll say her name, and then you are too great to be forgotten. According to my calculations, you're the #1 teacher. And then I also have these stamps that I got from scrapbook.com, and they're all these like handmade, you know, made just for you, made with love, to let them know that this was handmade. I love using this one. I use this one quite a bit. This one says handmade for you and has 2 little hearts on the side. So I added that in the back. And so here it's going to be an envelope. It's going to say to and from. And then I'm going to finish stamping her name on the top, and it says that. And then here's the little calculator. He is so cute. I hope you like this and give you some ideas. I thought it was just something really cute and simple for a teacher. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Bye.